Hi guys, it's Taylor Green, and we are going to continue with our leveled learning centers for Among the Hidden by Margaret Peterson Haddix. This level's learning center is for second language learners. Now, when you go to your learning center, you are going to find 2 sheets of paper and some materials. The first sheet of paper is for the entire table, is the directions. The second sheet of paper is going to be your worksheet, and then it's going to be the materials that's going to be at the center. So let's go over the directions first. So it's going to look like this. The activity is called I Wish. In the book Among the Hidden by Margaret Peterson Haddix, we learn that Luke is a 3rd child. Because of this, Luke has to stay hidden or out of sight. Luke talks about his 6th birthday and a wish that he wanted, but that was not shared with us. Directions number 1. In box 1, describe a birthday wish you had. Draw a picture of what it was or is. So it can be a current wish, it could be a wish in the past, it can be whatever wish you had growing up. In the box next to it, the box with the lines, describe in short sentences what this wish was and why you chose it. Just a little background information for us to read from and learn about you. Step number 2. Now imagine that you are Luke and you just had a birthday. What is something besides being able to not be hidden? So you can't wish that for freedom. You have to think a little differently for this. What would you have wished for? Draw a picture to show us what you wished for and describe it in the box next to it. So this can be like train sets, toys, cars, anything you want, except for not being able to be hidden. So the materials you're going to need that you're going to find at the center are colored pencils, crayons, some markers, and you're going to have to bring a number 2 pencil. When you are done with this activity, I want you to just share your answers with your group members and discuss them. Everybody should have something the same. Well, not the same, but sometimes you wish for same things, sometimes you don't. But I want you to discuss your wish with the members of your group. Now be sure when you're done to clean up your center so that we can be ready for the next group. Now to help you guys a little bit, I did an example. Now, when I was 12, I wished for acrylic paints. I wished for those because I believe that they were more for the adults, because I've always had to use watercolors and I don't like watercolors. I thought they were for babies. And then if I was Luke, from reading the book, remember we've read a couple chapters by now, I wish that Luke can have a dog so that he wouldn't be lonely, because it's lonely having to hide. Alright, I'll come back and check on you. Enjoy your center. And remember to discuss your answers or what you put down with your group members. So the standards I chose for this learning center is the one we're using for the project, LAFS 6.SL.11, engage effectively in a range of collaborative discussions, one-on-one and groups, teacher-led, with diverse partners on 6th grade topics, texts, and issues, building on others' ideas and expressing their own clearly. And I also use this standard as well. Analyze how a particular sentence, chapter, scene, or stanza fit into the overall structure of a text and contributes to the development of the theme, setting, or the plot. Now I use the center because as a kid we all wish for something. But what about if you're a child who can't ever live a normal life, or what's normal to you? Because normalcy is overrated. But when it comes to a child who can't go out in public, a child who can't have a birthday party, a child who can only find happiness through little material items, what would you wish for? I wanted readers to put themselves in Luke's place, to figure out, like, what would they, if they were Luke, what would they wish for? And then the other standard I have is LAFS.6.W.2.4 Produce clear and coherent writing in which the development, organization, and style are appropriate to task, audience, and purpose. Now, for this center, I geared it towards English language learners who are in a beginning but transitioning more into an intermediate proficiency level. That way, they get to still use visuals to help express themselves more so that they're not overwhelmed by having to write sentences to explain their visual. However, I still want them to be able to write in a complete sentence to see where their proficiency level is at. So I believe this is a good activity because it helps them where they're comfortable, but still pushes them to critically think and to apply that to what they're learning. Now, some of the outside sources I use to help give me ideas is one called Book Rags, and they had a list of ideas that you can modify. So they had one where it was making a wish, or like, oh, what do you wish for? So I took that, I read it. Now I didn't use the assignment they gave, but I borrowed the idea and then I modified it to the book that is being discussed. So I made it as, if Luke could have another wish, what would it be? Or what they would wish for, so that way they would have to place themselves in Luke's place. Now the rubric for this assignment is, let me find it, has 4 components: following directions, organization and structure, shared responses with group members, and neatness of center area. Students, the whole activity can be worth up to 16 points. So if a student gets 4 points, the highest points in each component of the rubric, then they can get the full points on the center itself. So for example, for following directions, a student would get 3 points if they followed most of the directions. So let's say they did the visuals, but their sentences not all their sentences were complete. That would be more towards 3 points versus 4. Organization and structure, can they read their work? For this grade level, for 6th grade, even if they're learning English, they still should have a sense of penmanship. So the teacher should be able to read their work. Even if there is spelling errors and grammatical mistakes because they are currently learning English, their penmanship should be decent that a teacher can read it. Shared responses. Did they share their responses? Did they discuss it? Now, there is no right or wrong answer in this unless you didn't follow the directions and chose to be free. But I want to know, did they share their responses and discuss them with their group? It's always good to know what everybody else is thinking. And then the neatness. Are they cleaning up their center work for the next center? If they don't clean up, they lose points because that is part of the directions. Thank you.